I'm excited.
Why's that?
We have an apparel sponsor, Parry Athletic. Such good gear, and it's incredible. I've been enjoying it.
Bro, George came through, messaged us on the Instagram, said he's been following our program for ages. He's getting stronger and more mobile, and he's got this cool gear company called Parry, and he wants to send us some stuff.
And he told me that his mission was to create the best pair of training shorts ever.
Yeah, he wanted something that he could lift and roll in, and that could accommodate thick, muscular thighs and hips.
And that suits us.
Speaks to us.
Also, what I like is I love the colorful design. It actually looks really cool.
I am the most colorful dude on the mats these days, hands down.
Yeah, you get that kind of expression feel. A lot of other jiu-jitsu gear is kind of a bit boring.
Yeah, it's all like
comparison.
grays and blacks and shit. This stuff is the color and the vibrancy.
It makes you stand out. And I think the thing that I've loved about it is just it feels good. It feels good. It looks good. And you, ladies and gentlemen, can get a discount when you go to checkout. If you go to parryathletics.com, when you go to checkout, put in the code Bulletproof20 and you get 20% off. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Bulletproof for BJJ podcast. Do you have this BJJ problem? Look, are you really sore after training? Like every time you train, you're sore. Dealing with soreness after BJJ training, I think, is probably one of the top problems you encounter as a BJJ person. Joey, you've been experiencing a bit of this lately.
Bro, I have
Please tell us.
10 years, bro.
It's not recent. It's all the
10
time.
years recently. Look, jiu-jitsu is inherently painful.
Yes.
I'm just adjusting my mic.
Turns down a little bit.
You want me to bring yours down a little bit? How's that?
Sure. That's nice. Okay.
We're coming to you live from Home Depot / Bunnings today, guys. It's inherently painful, and it didn't really occur to me until I've had friends who've practiced other martial arts. T said it the most. A friend of ours.
Yes. Tiora.
Trained a lot of Thai boxing.
Yes.
Trained a lot of MMA and jiu-jitsu as well.
He's a tough human.
Yeah, he's one of the most nightmarish white belts you'll ever come across. But he's like, bro, I am sore in the most unique way after training jits that sparring and doesn't do to me. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. There's like a torque in the joints and just the crushing kind of little niggles that you get are so unique to jits that, I mean, I didn't notice it throughout my whole 20s.
Sure.
Right. And I think that's fair to say. You're blind to it.
Maybe. I think you notice it, but you shrug it off.
Yeah, you push through for sure. Like, yeah, you do notice it, right? Because you have. I can think back to plenty of times then when it's like sleepless nights because you're waking up sore.
I can't turn over.
Yeah, whatever. You can't train properly for a few weeks because you've busted up. But yeah, I trained on Monday night, so I went back to Vantage.
Yep.
With our boy, my coach, Adam Childs.
Yes, sir.
The man that gave me my black belt. It was so good. It's been ages since I've been there, so it was great to see. It was great to like connect with everyone at the gym again.
He had to make you remember why you should be there.
Dude, always. Like, Ad's like, welcome back. Let's roll. And,
you didn't even warm up. He just slapped hands with you and just like jumped on.
It's like the beginner's class. He's like, all right, guys, we're just going to do 60 minutes of rounds. Hey, new girl, just jump in. You'll be fine. No. Actually, he got me to teach a technique, which was fun.
That's nice.
I taught some back attack shit. But anyways, when you roll with it, you're like, oh, man, he brings it, right?
He does.
And he's got that hard style of jiu-jitsu, right? Like he's a tough jiu-jitsu player. That's what it is. And amazing technician.
Yes.
And so I came out and I literally did one round. We did a bit of positional stuff from the back, which was kind of taxing, but I did one round and I made a critical error. I myself up on this. So yeah. So let me just clarify what happened. He had me in a gillet. He had like front snap down. I don't know how we got there, but I'm on my knees, turtled. He's got a front headlock.
Yep.
He's got the arm under for a choke setup, right?
Oof.
And I'm there. I'm like, yeah, he's got the choke, and I'm like, I'm sitting out hard on this motherfucker. I'm going full athletic mode.
Yes.
Now I know, and you may not, but you don't sit out to the side of the choke.
Choke side.
You sit out to the other side.
Yes.
Right. But for some reason in my mind, I'm like, I can't go to the other side. I think it's because of my knee.
Okay. Yeah.
I think whatever it is, I just don't feel confident to go that way.
Commit.
So I'm like, I'm just sitting out on the choke side. And I just went bang and sat out on the choke side. Now my body sat out, but my head stayed in the choke.
Oh, no.
And I folded myself in half with a blade of a forearm across my throat.
Oh.
You can hear it in my voice a little bit today.
Yeah, you're the husky.
You know, and then we're there for a second, and I tapped. And it wasn't until I left training, I'm like, I've got tonsillitis. Oh my God, I got such a bad throat infection. And I'm like, no, it's just because my throat got crushed. And then I was trying to talk to Misa later because I didn't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Just ate some food, went home. I couldn't talk properly. I'm like, oh, my voice box.
Yeah.
Like, I up my throat
Yeah.
bad. Anyway, so that's kind of a bit separate from this. But what I noticed was that and I was like, man, my body's beat up.
Yep.
I'm sore. And I'm like, I used to train like that all the time.
Yes.
And I remembered being sore all the time.
Yes.
And I don't do that anymore. I just do it sometimes. And I'm like, man, it's interesting being able to reflect on that now at my stage where I'm like, I just used to do that all the time. And whatever, it worked out for me, right?
Sure.
But there's so many people where just that, that damage, that Porrada mentality compounds week after week, year after year to the point where you're like, my body cannot do this anymore.
Can't move. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I really think there's a problem because the Porrada mentality is essential,
Yes.
but it can't be all the time.
Well, no, I think there is a value in going hard in training. I don't think that is necessarily the Porrada. I like everyday Porrada is the problem. I think having intense sessions is not a problem. Having a session where you feel beat up and you're like, wow, that was like a fight. Doing that once a week, I think that's okay. Doing it every day is not. And I actually, I pretty much crippled myself the second time I went to Brazil. I was like, I'm going to train 3 times a day. That's what the best do.
That's how they do it.
But I also didn't understand how rampant the steroid use was. So I was like, yeah, no wonder these guys, like once I started to understand, like, oh, these guys are going away, injecting steroids, having a nap and coming back. Like, these guys are on super mode. I am not. I am eating acai and pão de queijo and not sleeping and just wondering why I can't. So here's the crazy thing. So
Because it's disco night at the local favela. What's happening? Hostel tour.
Let's go.
I'll get on that minibus. I don't care where we're going.
I'll eat them street meats. Give me some chicken hearts on a stick out of a stew in a ghetto. It'll be great. But no, it was one of those things that. So part of the warm up is you do your up and down the mat stuff, and I was training morning, lunch class, which was easily the hardest class. Go eat, maybe have a lie down, whatever, and then go back at night because that was like the expectation.
Right.
But within 2 weeks, my wrists were so sore I couldn't actually put weight in my hands on the mat, so I couldn't do the crocodile crawl. I couldn't
Couldn't
hip
even
out.
warm up properly.
Yeah, I couldn't even do the warm up. That's
Right.
how jacked I was, and I just didn't. I was like, is this what this is? Like, how do these other guys do it? And really, what most people don't appreciate is they aspire to be their heroes. Oh, I want to be like the Meows, or I want to be like whoever it might be, right? And I'm not saying that your hero is on steroids, but there's every chance they are.
Unless your hero's a Cuban, of course.
Because they're all natty and it's just high vitamin D levels. The tough thing is to accept that you can't go hard all the time. You can either be moderate and maintain that, or you can go hard sometimes and then you've got to recuperate. Because here is the biggest misunderstanding about BJJ. BJJ is resistance training. Let me repeat that.
But I'm not a gym bro, JT.
Go f yourself. BJJ is resistance training. You have the resistance of another human. Like, it's the most dynamic resistance you can have, push or pull. So when people are like, oh, I don't want to get into resistance training, you're just doing resistance training in shitty positions with bad biomechanics. So is that going to lead to you not being sore? Of course not. You're going to have wicked DOMs all the time, because that's the other thing about jiu-jitsu. It puts you in weird positions. Now, I talked to
Can I just do this?
please.
For the camera there.
Thank you for our viewing audience, not our audio audience.
Yeah, there we go.
Michael Hourigan and I had talked about training with Lucas Lepre.
Should I know him? You say his name like I should know him.
Michael Hourigan is he trains under Lachlan Giles. I don't know if he got his black belt from Lockie, but he's a staple of the absolute MMA gym.
Okay.
But he had trained at Cobrinha's, he'd trained at Alliance, and we had both trained with Lucas Lepre. And one time we just accidentally bumped into each other and somehow got talking about being there at the same time. And getting so much pressure in guard, like someone stacking you and putting their knee behind your knee and putting your knee up into your eye socket, that you're there for a sustained period of time. They're just holding you there to break you, that your hip flexors start to burn. Because, you're taking stretch through your hammy and your back, but you try to push out and you're getting the craziest pain in a place that you doesn't usually get loaded up or anything. And he was saying, you just want to let them pass to not be in that discomfort. But afterwards, you get crazy soreness in these places that are almost impossible to load through conventional activities.
Yeah.
You know, it's not often you go, right, unless you're like gym. I'm in the gym. I've stacked myself. I've put a barbell behind my knees. I'm also cranking my own neck. I'm dragging my arm out like this. Like, you could not generate that resistance and pressure on the body any other way.
Yeah, it's impossible.
So here's the thing. If you're doing resistance training every day, sometimes more than once a day, are you going to get soreness? Yeah. But not only do you have the soreness of the resistance, I don't know if you've ever had this, Joe, of the crossface jaw.
Oh, bro.
You know, you drop your chin, you don't want to get choked. You don't want to get like Von Flu choked.
Yeah.
So you just eat.
Yeah, like your jaw's getting compressed.
And you're like, oh, I think my jaw's going to break. But you're like, but I don't want to let them pass, or I don't want to tap. So it's just this mentality. It's a great mentality in a lot of ways because it teaches you toughness. But then you walk out and you're like, oh my God, like you're moving your jaw around. You think, I've bruised my jaw. Go explain that to someone without getting punched in the face. Like it's a crazy thing. And the thing is, we are actually taking damage. It's a form of damage. That soreness is damage, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To your muscles, to your bones.
Yeah, it's like trauma.
Yeah, it's trauma. But we go, in the name of jiu-jitsu, that's fine.
Yeah, and we kind of don't talk about it either because it's like, well, where do you start? Like it's kind of happening everywhere.
Yeah,
and it's and a lot of it you just get used to it, don't you? That's
true.
the thing. I think a lot of people hearing this discussion would be like, oh, I don't get that sore. But the reality is, you probably do. You're accustomed to it, and that's your normal. And you just whatever your normal is, that's just how you exist.
Yeah, I just walk with a limp. I mean, no, I'm in my mid-20s and I'm healthy as I'm fit and strong, but I just walk with a limp.
Yeah,
you know, like actually, I think the contrast we invert this, and it really for me it happened during lockdown. Couldn't train, wasn't allowed to go to the gym. I was still working out, but my body started to feel so good. It was about 2 or 3 weeks into lockdown.
Yeah.
And it was just a lack of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I'm so used to feeling up and sore from jiu-jitsu. I'm like used to that level of discomfort that take it away and I started feeling great. And it made me go, maybe I need to train a bit less. Like maybe I would like to enjoy not feeling cranked. Because there's always something, right?
Yeah.
You start to feel good and then, I tweaked my knee. Oh, someone kneed me in the ribs. You know, my wrist.
Yeah.
You know, I got wrist locked. So there's a couple components here. There's the resistance part. There's also the impact. Someone else knee riding your ribs.
Yeah.
Someone cranking that knee bar and you fight out of it.
Someone over underpassing you.
Yeah.
You fighting it. You're just eating their entire weight into your midsection.
Oh. Yeah, a knee cut pass that doesn't...
Sorry, I keep coughing. It's because my throat's still f***ed up.
From
like
the
Steven
guillotine.
Seagal ripped my voice box out in Under Siege.
It was just from the chin strap.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Jiu-jitsu people don't allow for recovery.
No. Well, yeah, and so here's the up thing about all this is that you cop this trauma on a Monday night and you saw Tuesday, whatever. But if you go back to training on Tuesday night and you get warmed up and you jump back in the thing, you don't feel the soreness.
No, the
and
adrenaline.
it's the beauty of those stress hormones, man. Like you don't feel it. You feel great. You do the training. And then on Wednesday, you kind of feel it a bit again. But again, you can just go back to training on Wednesday night and it's gone. And I think this is a cycle that a lot of people get caught up in, probably not realizing until it's like end of the week or the weekend. And they're like, man, I'm a mess.
Yeah.
And then, whatever, you have a few drinks, a couple of nights on the weekend. Like, man, really, there's no time. Like, we're not trying to turn this into a recovery discussion necessarily, but
no,
there's no point. Like, you're just accumulating damage and you're maybe recovering a little bit, but you're also, like, the line is going down overall week on week.
And the thing is, and this is not to kill the vibe, but I'm very good at that. Just ask my fiance. She'll tell you. I'm the vibe killer. If this is the vibe...
I can't see it.
Zzz, whack! This is me. I kill that vibe. I'm the vibe killer. I often have people going, look, I'm doing Bulletproof, so I'm lifting twice a week. I want to do some cardio. Oh, how often are you doing jiu-jitsu? 5-6 days a week. I think you're doing enough. No, but I feel good. Like I want to go running on a Sunday. I wanted more. And the only thing about
You
this
sounded
is,
like Vanderlei Silva just then. I want to know. When he's trying to fight Chael.
yeah.
I don't want to like you. I don't want to be your friend.
Don't come close to me.
He's like,
Don't-
I can't let you get
I
close.
can't let you get close. Boom.
I love that.
That's
that
a great
scene is
scene.
the best.
It's a
That's
great scene.
exactly what I would have done, Chael.
Hard as nails. I think it's one of those things that really you feel great up until a point, and it can last 6 months. You could be on a real, but you're just getting these gradually. You're like, oh, I'll just tape my fingers.
Yeah.
I'll just wear a knee brace. I'll be honest. There was a point in time around blue belt where I was accumulating a lot of injuries. I'd have at least one Voltaren and an ibuprofen before training.
Oof. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people are doing that, right?
Yeah, because you're like, once I have a coffee and my anti-inflammatories, I'm liquid,
yeah.
baby. You know, and that's you're actually becoming a drug addict. You have to.
Yeah, I believe that is objectively like you are. You have a dependence.
A
at that
dependency,
point.
yeah. And you don't want to really admit it to yourself. You're like, I'm just doing what it takes.
I'm just crushing these things and sticking up my bum.
I'm
not using that much.
I'm a warrior. Ooh.
You telling me the Spartans wouldn't have used ibuprofen if it was around in their time? I think not.
The most natty thing you could do is get on the gear.
Bro, it's so true. I mean, I want to take it to like a place where I think that there's a real mentality piece in it as well.
Yes.
Because like when we roll, it very easily goes to Porrada because of who we both are.
Of course.
But we both also have the power for that not to happen.
Yes.
And you can do that. You can go, fine, man, pass my guard.
Go.
I'm just gonna work from here. I'm not gonna let you get. I know you want that arm, but I'm not gonna let you get it. You know, and you can just change the course or the energy of the roll instantly.
Yeah.
Right. But if you go, no, I'm meeting fire with fire, then it goes to that place. And I think here's the deal: it's very hard to make that decision when you're in the middle of training.
Sure.
Like when you're in the middle of the roll and that thing has come over you, and it's too late at that
The
point.
fight or flight's kicked in.
Yeah, I think you need to have the clarity of mind, discipline to declare that to yourself before training.
I think this is probably the hardest thing for anyone from white belt to black belt, because you could be having a good roll, and then someone just up kicks you in the face, and like you get that snap or your teeth bite together really hard, and you're like, okay, you're just like, hey, okay, like it's gone from like real nice to like, okay, I'm gonna break you now. Like, and
But I don't. That doesn't like. I'll be like, you dick. But
Dude,
I don't. But it doesn't.
But you know that feeling if you get like,
Oh,
like
yeah, the
hit
spike.
straight in the nose, and you get that rush of
Yeah.
It's very hard, and I'm speaking to somebody who has been. I was actually holding pads for one of my MMA fighters. I won't name them, but if you're hearing this, you know who you are. And I was holding Thai pads, like 2 of them, and he's giving me big power kicks, and I said, right, I want you to bring it up just a fraction higher, but don't just kick me in the face. That's exactly what that's what manifested. Totally cleared the pads, and I just turned my face at the right time and just shin kicked me in the face.
Yes.
Like rocked me. And I was like, oh,
Is
and
that
he's like,
Hoshi?
I can't name them.
My God.
And my I bit my jaw together really hard, and I was rocked. I was heavily rocked, and I said, "Man, please don't do that again." Like I was like, "Oh God."
He's like, whatever, bitch. You want to take the rest of the round off? Take a rest round.
But that sometimes it's outside your
Guys,
control.
the lesson there is never do striking. Only ever grapple.
But sometimes it's not under your control, right? If you're new and you're just trying to get it,
Of course.
and you're the
You gotta
victim of
fight.
the
You gotta
you
fight,
just got to
yeah.
do whatever you can, right? And you're trying to survive,
Yeah.
but you're getting absolutely rinsed.
It's true. I'm talking from a privileged place.
You're coming from the person who has the control, right?
Yeah.
So as somebody who's been on both sides of that spectrum, my advice is, if you can limit it, and this is difficult to do, even for injured people, go to class, do the technique, go through, only roll 1 round, or don't roll every roll. Roll with someone it's not going to be war with.
Yeah.
And
Avoid the Nicky Rod that day.
have enough have enough presence of mind to go, today is not my 100% day. Because when you leave it outside of your control and Big Joey's coming for it and you're just you're a new blue belt and you accidentally upkick him in the groin, and he's like, that's fine, buddy. That's fine. You're going to get this crossface. He says it calmly. He's like, I don't get mad. I just get even. You actually have to, I would say you need days that are lighter, a medium day, and then a heavy day.
Yeah.
That's how I would approach
Yeah,
it.
unless like if you have a very minimal training schedule,
Sure.
like if you're like 2 days a week, maybe 3, couple days in between, probably doesn't matter too much.
No.
Right. But yeah, if you're training consistently day after day and you're also trying to hold down job and lift weights a couple days a week and stuff, we got 1 minute left on this bad boy.
We do.
You need to alternate your intensity just like that.
Definitely. So in terms of dealing with muscle soreness all the time, we've done plenty on recovery. I would say moderating your rolling is the biggest thing you could do.
100.
Like being able to take control of that is going to mean you're not sore all the time. And that means when it's time to go hard, you can actually get the most out of it.
Boss.
Oos.
There it is, fam.
Peace.